All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the kinetic link. We covered a lot of ground in part one,
Literally.
exploring how this thing impacts movement, but now I'm curious about the implications of all this data. It's
Yeah.
cool to know that it can, increase muscle activation, but what does that actually mean for us, for how we move and perform?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting the dots between the science and real-world application.
Okay.
So taking those biomechanical findings we talked about
Right.
and seeing how they could translate into actual benefits for different people.
I like it. So let's start with a group that probably comes to mind first, athletes.
Of course.
We already kind of hinted at how the kinetic link could maybe enhance performance, especially in things that require explosive power.
Right.
But can you paint a clearer picture of how this might play out in specific sports or training scenarios?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine a sprinter exploding off the starting blocks with even greater force,
Okay.
or a basketball player hitting a new personal best on their vertical jump.
Yeah.
That's the kind of impact that the kinetic link's ability to increase ground reaction forces could have.
So, those highlight reels might be filled with even more gravity-defying feats.
Yeah.
All thanks to a little help from the kinetic link. It's like giving athletes a secret weapon.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the benefits go beyond just raw power. What about endurance athletes like marathon runners? Could the kinetic link help them too?
Yeah, definitely. That increased core and glute muscle activation that we talked about can actually play a big role in improving stability,
Okay.
running efficiency, and even injury prevention. A strong core and stable hips are essential for maintaining proper form
Right.
over long distances.
So it's not just about jumping higher or running faster.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more resilient body that can handle the demands of intense training and competition. And these benefits aren't just limited to elite athletes either.
Nope.
What about everyday fitness enthusiasts, people who are looking to improve their workouts and overall health?
For sure.
We all know that core and glute strength are essential for everything.
Yep.
Good posture preventing back pain. But let's be real, sometimes those planks and squats can feel a bit tedious.
They can.
So is that where the kinetic link comes in? Does it make those workouts more exciting?
Potentially.
Oh,
It's not a magic bullet or anything,
right.
but it could offer a way to amplify the benefits of your exercise routine,
Okay.
helping you engage those key muscle groups
Right.
more effectively and efficiently.
So getting more out of every lunge or step up.
Exactly.
Okay, you've convinced me I'm ready for a kinetic link enhanced workout.
Yeah.
Now, this report also mentioned potential applications in rehabilitation,
Yes.
which I think is really exciting.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a bit? How could this device be used to help people regain movement and function?
So picture someone who's recovering from a knee injury,
Okay.
or an older adult who's dealing with age-related mobility issues.
Yeah.
The kinetic link could really be a game changer in helping them regain strength, improve their gait, and just enhance their overall balance and stability.
So it's not just about pushing the limits of human performance.
It's not.
It's also about helping people reclaim their movement and independence. That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it brings up a really important point. Whenever we're talking about new technologies, especially those that interact with our bodies,
Yeah.
we need to consider the potential downsides or limitations. We can't just get caught up in the hype without acknowledging the full picture.
You're right. We need that balanced perspective.
Yeah.
So are there any things we should be mindful of when it comes to the kinetic link? Any potential drawbacks or challenges we need to consider?
Of course.
Right.
One thing the researchers emphasized was the learning curve
Okay.
associated with using the kinetic link.
Meaning?
It's not just a matter of strapping it on and instantly becoming some superhuman athlete.
Right.
Your body needs time to adapt to how to move efficiently with it. There's definitely a learning process involved.
So it's not like a quick fix or a magic solution. It's a tool
Right.
that needs to be integrated into a well-designed program
Absolutely.
with proper instruction and guidance.
Yes. And it's also important to remember that everyone's different. Just like some people are naturally better at certain sports or adapt to training methods more quickly,
Right.
there's going to be variation in how people respond to the kinetic link. Some might see results immediately, while others might need more time and coaching to really get the most out of it.
That makes sense. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
What about factors like cost and accessibility? Is this something that's going to be available to everyone? Or are we talking about a super expensive piece of equipment that only elite athletes or research labs will have access to?
That's a key question.
Mm.
As with a lot of new technologies, it's likely that early versions will come with a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah.
But as the tech develops and production scales up, we could see the cost come down,
Okay.
making it more accessible to a wider range of people.
I hope so, because the potential benefits we've discussed are really exciting. But let's shift gears a bit and look ahead. We've explored the present applications of the kinetic link, but I'm wondering about the bigger picture, the future. What are your thoughts on the potential of this technology to shape how we move and perform in the years to come?
This is where things get really interesting.
Mm.
We might be witnessing the beginning of a biomechanical revolution.
Wow, okay.
As technology keeps advancing, we can imagine even more sophisticated and personalized devices
Yeah.
that integrate seamlessly with our bodies,
Yeah.
helping us unlock new levels of performance and physical capability.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. A world where devices like the kinetic link are everywhere,
Yeah.
enhancing our abilities and blurring the line between human and machine.
It's both exciting and a little mind-blowing,
Totally.
but it's not just about athletic feats. Imagine the potential for assistive devices that help people with disabilities regain their mobility,
Right.
or wearables that promote healthy movement and prevent injuries in everyday life.
Yeah.
The possibilities are vast.
It's a future filled with both incredible potential and some ethical considerations
For sure.
that we're going to have to navigate carefully. But before we go too deep into the philosophical side of things, let's bring it back to the present. For our listeners who are now totally intrigued by this kinetic link, are there any takeaways they can apply to their own training or movement practices, even if they don't have one of these devices yet?
Absolutely. One of the biggest lessons we can learn from all this is the importance of core and glute strength.
Okay.
Whether you're an athlete, a weekend warrior, or just someone who wants to move through life with ease,
Right.
building a strong foundation in those muscle groups is essential.
Yeah, those planks and squats aren't going anywhere.
Yep.
But it sounds like the kinetic link research adds another layer to that.
It does.
It's not just about doing the exercises, it's about being mindful of how those muscles are being activated
Yes.
and how they're contributing to efficient movement.
Exactly. It's about bringing more awareness and intention to our training. So even without any fancy gadgets, you can focus on engaging your core and glutes more consciously in your everyday activities.
So even without a kinetic link strapped to our legs right now, we can all benefit from the knowledge gained from studying this thing.
For sure. And beyond strength training,
Yeah.
you can explore activities that challenge your balance and coordination, like yoga, Pilates, or dance.
Right.
These things can help you develop a more integrated and resilient body,
Okay.
which can lead to better performance and fewer injuries.
Those are great practical tips. It's amazing how exploring one device can lead to so many bigger insights about the human body and how we move.
It is fascinating.
But hold on, folks, because in part 3, we're going to tackle some even bigger questions raised by this technology.
Okay.
Are we entering the age of bionic humans?
Mhm.
Where do we draw the line between enhancing our abilities and altering our very nature? Join us as we venture into the ethical and philosophical frontiers of this whole biomechanical revolution. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've explored the kinetic link's mechanics, dove into its potential applications, and now we find ourselves at the edge of a whole new territory. The ethics of it all.
Yeah. It's an important discussion.
It is. We can't just ignore these big questions.
Right, especially when we're talking about tech. That could totally change what it means to be human.
Exactly. It's both thrilling and kind of scary to think about.
Yeah.
You know, we've discussed the potential benefits, but what about the what ifs? Those nagging questions about where all this could lead.
Yeah. It's like opening Pandora's box.
Right.
Once we start down this road of augmenting human abilities, where do we draw the line?
Right. One question that keeps popping into my head is like, are we on this slippery slope towards a future of bionic humans? A world where technology is the defining factor in what our bodies can do.
It's a question science fiction has been wrestling with forever.
Right.
And now it feels like it's not so far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is really drawn to the idea of, breaking free from our limitations. Imagine a world without disabilities, or where age doesn't hold you back physically, where human potential is basically limitless.
It's definitely a tempting vision,
It is.
but we need to be careful
Oh, for sure.
because it also raises some fundamental questions about what it means to be human.
Yeah, like what happens to the value of hard work or natural talent
Right.
if tech can just give us an edge?
Exactly. Does it create an uneven playing field? Does it diminish our drive to push ourselves and overcome challenges?
It makes you wonder. And then there's the whole issue of access. We talked about the cost, but who gets to benefit from these advancements?
Yeah, will it just widen the gap between those who can afford to enhance themselves and those who can't?
It's like a classic sci-fi trope, the
Mhm.
haves and the have-nots. But now it's not just about wealth, it's about physical ability.
Yeah, that's a really important point. And it leads to another big question, the difference between therapy and enhancement.
Right. We talked about using the kinetic link for rehab,
Right.
but where does that end and enhancement begin?
Yeah. Is it okay to use tech to help someone regain function after an injury,
Mm.
but not to give an athlete a competitive advantage?
It's a tough question. And as technology keeps getting more advanced, that line is going to get blurrier and blurrier.
For sure.
Yeah.
We need to talk openly and honestly about all this
I agree.
and figure out some guidelines that align with our values and protect human dignity.
This goes way beyond just the technology itself.
It does.
It's about how we use it.
Mm.
We have to think about the consequences and make sure that in our quest for progress, we don't lose sight of what makes us human.
It's a balancing act
It is.
between innovation and responsibility, embracing new possibilities but protecting what matters.
And this isn't just a conversation for scientists and engineers.
This involves everyone.
Athletes, policymakers, ethicists, everyday people, we all have a role to play in figuring out the future of human enhancement.
We do.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the kinetic link, we're left with more questions than answers.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it means we're on to something big,
Yeah.
something that could change everything.
It could.
The kinetic link is just one example of what's coming. This wave of biomechanical advancements is on the horizon, and it's up to us to navigate it thoughtfully. Harnessing the power of technology while holding on to our humanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to be excited but cautious
Yes.
and always guided by ethical principles.
It's an exciting time to be alive. We're seeing human potential pushed further than ever before.
It's incredible.
So let's embrace the possibilities, but let's also do it wisely, making sure we're not just enhancing our bodies, but enriching our lives and our future.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the kinetic link. It's been an amazing journey, and we hope it sparks some important conversations. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.